Hey you, this is camera presence practice number 2, and I would highly recommend you don't watch this video. This video, I'm making it for the sake of my own practice of camera presence and English practice. I want to have it because it's not my native language, and I want to improve in it too. Yes, so I warned you. And I haven't prepared anything, so I'm just going to take my iPad and see what's in there. Okay, so for this practice, my idea is to take the book I'm reading and where is it? And then, no, it's not this one. And then to think out loud about all that. One says you're great, but Okay. Now let's go to the beginning, and I'm not a self-made. Okay, so I went through the self-made I'm Not a Self-Made Man from Arnold Schwarzenegger's Forward. Yes, Forward. And the next highlighted quote or piece portion of this book, Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss, is the following, and it's also from Arnold. The worst thing you can ever do is think that you know enough. The worst thing you can ever do is think that you know enough. I'm not sure that maybe the context, maybe I'm missing portion of this context, and I am going to set up a timer for 30 minutes. So the worst thing you can ever do is think that you know enough. What is the context? Listen. I've always treated the world as my classroom, soaking up lessons and stories to fuel my path forward. I hope you do the same. Never stop learning, ever. That's why you bought this book. You know that wherever you are in life, there will be moments when you need outside motivation and insight. And the worst thing you can ever do is think that you know enough. Well, I'm not sure about this quote. I think that there are many ways to think about this quote, to interpret its meaning. And so the most obvious meaning is that I am studying something. No, I think so. If I try to play along with Arnold's way of thinking, that I bet he means to never stop learning in general, and it's not he's not saying that I cannot, or it's not good to say enough in one topic. But I think that he means stopping learning in general. And from this perspective, I would agree with him, but with some side notes. I think that the pace, it matters. I'm not as successful as Arnold, but when I think about this learning process, and when I'm looking at the ways that I'm organized, that I tick, and I discover, and when I look at what I've discovered about myself, the learning can be a good experience. It can be a process that is about growing, that is about a healthy level of stress, that is about challenging myself, challenging yourself to some extent, to some degree, and it can be healthy, I guess. So like this healthy level of stress can be healthy. And I think that if taken too far, it can be detrimental. It can be bad to people. It can be bad for me for sure, because it's not like life is not binary. It's not I'm either learning or I am sleeping. So there are many other activities that happen during the day, during the week, during the month. So over some meaningful cycles of living. And there is for sure place to learning, and whatever definition Arnold assigns to this word. By learning, I mean, or when I think about learning, I think about attaining something new or discovering something new. That's it. So this is learning. It's a very generic definition, but at the same time, I think so. For example, what can I give you? For example, I'm reading this book. It's in English. It has a lot of information. Some of which is new to me. Some of which is don't. The goal, or why I'm reading this book, I'm reading it to find new things that I find worth considering, that I find worth reading about, playing with, thinking about, so analyzing, dissecting. So I hope to find something that I didn't know, that I can either complete with my understanding of the world and to navigate the world better, or some things, some tools, some things that I could use, that I could adopt and start mastering or start experimenting with, and to see whether they are useful for me. So it's either new understanding or new tools or new ways of looking at life. So it's either perception, I expand my perception, or I expand my toolkit. And in this sense, I think that, and so there is, in this process of learning, so this is learning, so new information that is either practical or theoretical. And I think that new information, new things, learning new things that are useful, that are healthy, that improve quality of life or whatever. So about some improvements, some changes up. So that some changes that improve my life in some sort. This is like I'm learning something. And this is amazing. This is one of the necessary things that I find they are required for me to feel positive emotions, to feel good, to feel many different things. But this adds energy, this adds purpose to my life, this adds meaning, this improves my life. It's not the only thing, but it is necessary. Because learning, for me, it's about new things, new information, new tools, new exercises, something new that I am playing with, and I am trying to somehow integrate. And this is good. And new is good in the sense that I don't know about you, but I'm very proud of a script. I don't know about you, but new adds positive emotion to my life. When there is nothing new, I feel bored. I feel stalled. I feel like I'm like a swamp versus a river. So I feel not fresh, and it's just unpleasant to have nothing new in my life for prolonged periods of time, so like a week or something like that. So even days without, if a few days passes without new things happening, I start feeling unpleasant things. So new is good. I am cautious only about the degree to, or the extent to which this advice is taken. So it's about the rate of input rate of new things. If it's too low, so I would divide this learning into 3 segments or pieces or sections. I would say, ranges. I would say 3 ranges. The first range is 0 to C. Let's use the English letter C. So it's 0 to C, where 0 is no learning, no new input, no new information at all. And C is the lower boundary of segment 2, which I will define and elaborate on a bit later. So with 0 to C, it's this segment where there is not enough learning to feel positive emotion, when there is not enough novelty. And this is segment number 3, because I'm going in this reverse order of English in the US grade system from C, B to A. So it's like 3, 2, and 1. So segment number 3, it's unpleasant. 2, the learning rate is too low. I would not want to be in this segment because it's unpleasant, it's too low, and like the incoming rate of novelty and learning, it's under delivers to, it's not a healthy rate of learning. Second, number 2 is it's from C to B. So this is actually the sweet spot. So it's lower boundary, starting from the lower to the upper boundary. So the whole range or segment of the learning input rate is it's a healthy, balanced range. So it's about the learning rate that is I would call it like enough. So it's balanced learning rate when new information income rate is just like right. So there is enough new information when it's when it stimulates learning, when it stimulates adaptation, when it stimulates improvement in one or many areas, and better many than one. And this rate, it feels like I'm challenging myself, or you're challenging yourself, but also to that you're not going too far for it to be traumatic or like you over challenging yourself. And you feel generally like what are the attributes of this segment B is that you feel generally good. You're excited about so when you're not learning and you're thinking about the upcoming bout of learning, bout, the word is taken from Huberman, but the upcoming practice of learning or period or time, you are you are excited about this upcoming time, learning time, or at least you're not against it, you're not resisting it in general, like 80 to 90% of the time. And you are attracted, you feel attracted to this learning period, well, not in a sexual way, but in the sense, or in the sexual sense, but in the sense of it, you feel it like as a appealing thing to do. And while doing that, you will become tired, or I will become tired, and I will become satisfied. And also, when repeated, this in like this at the rate that is from C to B. So in this rate of segment 2, it's over time you will see improvements in the things, well, that are valuable to you in the things that you are learning about, or just learning. So there will be improvements over time, and they will be fast enough to your subjective feeling perspective. So this is segment number 2. So it's just right. And then there is this segment number 1, from B to A, when the learning rate is too high, when you are burning out, when you are learning, trying to learn too many things, and the stimulus, this learning stimulus, is higher. So the level of stress, the amount of new information, of the stress that comes with this information, the pressure that you put onto yourself is too high. And I'm not even sure that you are learning new things. Probably you are, and probably the rate is like good enough, but it's not. I think it is slower than than it would have been if you were learning it in the segment 2, in the rate of or from segment 2. So the performance, my performance decreases, and I'm not a fan of segment 3 and of segment 1. And I'm learning to appreciate, and I'm learning to be in segment 2, and to be in these healthy boundaries where I am learning with a good pace, but I'm not putting myself under too much stimulus. And this is difficult. This is hard because my time, as the time of I think that everyone on this planet, and maybe not only on this planet, I've got limited time per day, per week, and I have too many things to do. Well, I would like to do more things that I'm capable of doing, and I find myself more on this B to A, like closer to this B boundary, that more often than not I'm in the segment 2, but quite often, I would say not as often as with segment 2, but I am on in segment 1, and I'm trying to slow down this rate of new information, this incoming rate of new information. So yeah, I'm not a, so yeah. So my point here that I think learning is great, underlearning is not great, and overlearning is not great either. And I think that overlearning, probably one of the reasons, it's not like the single reason, but one of the reasons behind overlearning is either poor time management, or poor prioritization. So I'm trying to learn too many things at once, and I don't put them in any meaningful order, or it's some kind of psychological trauma or issues. So, for example, I could have, and probably I do have this not scenario, but like attitude from the childhood that it's never enough, that I will never be able to please my father or to please person X or like figure X in my life, and that I'm not, and I'm always not enough. It's always not enough. I need to do more and more, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much success I have, how high I've climbed. Probably. It's always not enough. For example, but this is hypothetical thing. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a specialist, and this is just me thinking here out loud of probable reasons that could be one or many reasons behind a person that is inside this segment one, which is overlearning, which is putting themselves under too much new information, so that the actual information that would be useful, its assimilation rate is undermined. So when I am trying to learn too much, and when there is too much, there are too many new things or new inputs at once, I'm not sure that the important information that I would love to or would like to remember or master or ponder about deeper, that it happens. And so, compromised. So not unimportant or not important information that I'm trying to learn, along with important information on or skills or things or like points of view. The unimportant, not important information, I think that undermines or like impedes the rate of learning this important information. And one of the skills that I would love to develop more, learn more, master is differentiation between I want to be able to separate the important information, the important input sources from all those unimportant ones. How do I do this is a great question. I'm not sure that I would want to look into or think into this area right now, but differentiation is one of the pillar skills of being effective, I think. Because yes, and I want to master it more, better, and I don't think that I'm good enough on that. So I've got 3 minutes and 30 seconds left, and I noticed that there is not much left for me in this thought to think about. But also one of the important things that I'm working on, or I hope improving during these practices, is that I look at the camera, that I smile, that when I'm explaining something, I use my hands and I'm doing some gestures. Maybe I can even sit higher, so I can deliberately talk about this and try to smile and try to look directly at the camera, and sometimes engage my shoulders or not. What I also noticed is that I do those jittery moves like this, like they're very unexpected, jittery, and I don't like how they look. I don't like to do those, but I'm not sure that what is the source of them, but I think I'm in too much rush when I'm doing those movements. And currently what I'm thinking about, one of the ways I could try to improve through that is that just becoming aware of these jittery movements. So I'm just pointing my attention. I'm becoming to become more present, or becoming more aware of those movements. Maybe will improve. I hope that it will improve the situation here. I'm not sure. I will check out how to say situation, how native speakers say this word. So this is what I want to actively work on. I want to be able to continue my thought process, to not freeze in front of the camera, so that I could keep remembering things, or I could, for example, come up or think through new things. Okay, so this is my 30-minute timer on the iPad, which told me that 30 minutes have passed. Okay, so I want to shift my focus and talk this out loud. Probably it is a good idea to say it every time I'm doing this practice, maybe in the beginning. So, and specifically, I can say that, okay, these are the things that I'm working on. So I want to increase this feeling of being safe in front of the camera, and I want to feel quite free and like not tensed in front of the camera too. And I want to teach my body that sitting in front of the camera with this recording button, or with this camera turned on and recording myself, it's not something bad. And I can think out loud. I can say things to the camera, and people may see, people could see me saying these things, or like not, because it's not that this is polished content and this video has some structure and is edited in a good way, and that's gripping and so on. No, it's just me saying, like, talking to the camera, and with a certain level of English, but it's not C2, and I'm not that articulate, so I don't see any points for people to consistently watch these videos, but I do see a lot of sense in recording these videos and in practicing talking to the camera. And so I think that it can be very beneficial for me to go over the main things that I want to practice and improve with help of this type of practice. And what are those things? I want to feel safe in front of the camera, or safe enough. I want to be able to not freeze in front of the camera, and I want to be able to think freely, to not like, so that my body feels that it can, or my mind, my psyche feels that, or I don't know what to say about the psyche, so that my psyche is not stopping, and it just works in similar ways. It works when I'm not recording. I am able to think, I'm able to use English, I'm able to write scripts, I'm able to have conversations when the camera is turned off. So I want to be able to do that with a camera turned on, or many cameras. And I want to be able to do this on stage. I want to be able to do this in front of the camera because I like talking. I like learning. I like teaching. I like attention. And so, but I also like being useful. And if my thinking, my thought process, my thinking stops because of the camera, or because of people's attention, then it means that I'm wasting my own time and I'm wasting their time, and I don't want to do that. And I would also want to feel great, or to feel some joy or some pleasant emotions in front of the camera, and the same way, or like different emotions, but that I feel when I feel when I'm programming, when I'm creating something. So I want to feel that. And I also want to become more fluent in English, especially in front of the camera, because I'm combining two difficult things: learning a new language, English in my case, and also building up camera presence, building up this ability to smile to the camera, to think, to lead a conversation that can be interesting, or could be interesting to some people, not to all people. So my goal is not to entertain or to every person in the world. something like that. So this is what I can say in the beginning, or at the beginning, well, in the beginning of every video, at the beginning of each video of such practice. And I think it should improve this process even more, because when I'm saying these things out loud, when I'm focusing my attention, especially in the beginning, especially at the beginning, then I'm kind of setting up the goals or directions through which, or like rails through which I'm going to go during that video. Okay, but back to the quote that I read and pondered out loud. I think that learning is great, and it's just fun to learn new things. I'm only concerned, not only, but mainly concerned about the speed or rate of this learning process. If it's too low, then it sucks. If it's too high, then it sucks too. It's not great. So I will continue exploring my own learning rates territory, and I will continue exploring what things in what rate are in zone 2. And that's it for today's practice.